Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. Now, I've gotten a lot of attention from a lot of different people asking me about Canelo Alvarez. How good can he be? Can he dominate boxing? How good is he? And who do I see potentially being able to beat Canelo Alvarez? And I just want to break that down a little bit. And I want to be very clear about a few things. First, I think Danny Jacobs versus Canelo Alvarez is a 50-50 fight. But even though I believe that's a 50-50 fight, a close fight, a very good fight, I still would give Canelo Alvarez the edge because he's such an elite boxer. He has a chin full of steel. And then there are a couple holes in Danny Jacobs' game that Canelo Alvarez, being such an elite and experienced boxer, may be able to exploit. The other 50-50 fight that I have for Canelo Alvarez, and a lot of people really won't see it that way because these guys don't really understand the level of a boxer such as a Callum Smith. I think that's a very close and good fight. And I think those are the two fights, and I even favor Canelo Alvarez to possibly beat Callum Smith as well. Even though that I see those two fights as 50-50, I think Canelo Alvarez could go to the body and hurt Callum Smith, and that would be the key to that fight. But ultimately, those are the two most difficult fights for Saul Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion. I think Canelo Alvarez could dominate boxing from 154 to 168. I don't see an opponent today that has as many tools in the toolbox, as a better boxing ability, and that also has the experience and resume of a Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has faced absolutely the best. Canelo Alvarez has power, skill, boxing ability, and so I cannot name a boxer that Canelo Alvarez would not be at least favored to beat at this point in his career. Canelo Alvarez may finish his career undefeated. Now, I have a couple other comparisons. I have some people come to me and say, what about Demetrius Andrade? I think Demetrius Andrade would be a very interesting fight for Canelo Alvarez. Both of these guys are boxing tacticians, but the fact that Canelo Alvarez has appear to have more power than Demetrius Andrade, the fact that Canelo Alvarez actually has more experience at a high level of boxing. Demetrius Andrade, to some degree, is still an unknown. So I would still have to continue to give Canelo Alvarez the advantage in that particular fight. And Canelo Alvarez against Demetrius Andrade, that's at least a 70-30 type of fight at that point. I have to overwhelmingly pick Canelo Alvarez on that until I see more from Demetrius Andrade. That doesn't mean that Demetrius Andrade can't get it to a 50-50 fight, but we haven't seen enough from him to believe that he can get to that level or that he can compete at that level. We do believe he's a very good boxer. He's a world champion at 160, so that has to be commended, but we need an elite level fight for him. As far as the Billy Joe Saunders, I don't think that Billy Joe Saunders is at the level of a Canelo Alvarez. I think Billy Joe Saunders, between his weight fluctuations, between the fact that, he's failing these tests, and also the fact that Billy Joe Saunders haven't really went in there with anybody elite. I mean, who as elite has Billy Joe Saunders? Yeah, he destroyed David Lemieux, but he destroyed him after Triple G destroyed him. And at this point, I don't even see that being a close fight. I think Canelo stops Billy Joe Saunders as well. And then we break down Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez. We've seen that fight twice. The first fight was a draw. The second fight, Canelo won. I think the third fight, Canelo would be extremely dominant because of his growth and also because of the simple fact that Triple G is only getting older. Canelo Alvarez is entering his prime, and he appears to even be ascending and getting better. So I don't see that fight with Triple G, the next fight, going in any better direction for him. And and then also the last fight where a lot of people think that with Jermall Charlo, for some reason, that he can even compete with Canelo. I don't even see that being an interesting or close fight. I think it's a shutout. I think Canelo Alvarez wins every round and stop him early. I think that's an easy fight. I think Jermall Charlo needs to fight a Triple G to try to see where he's at, to try to gauge himself, because that would be his best chance. I think going in with Canelo would be a humiliating fight for him. I don't even think it'll be close. I think he'd humiliate and stop Jermall Charlo, if we're being honest and unbiased based on what we've seen. Now, let's see if there's anyone else. There appears to be no one else that Canelo Alvarez can face at this point. Canelo Alvarez is set to dominate boxing for the next 10 years, the next at least 5 to 10 years, until we see another prospect show more. Danny Jacobs and Callum Smith are his closest two top competitors, and those will be 50-50 fights and could literally go either way. Once again, unbiased as always, it's the Ibfp. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.